Chicago. Ordinary cops are losing the battle against the super freaks. Then a miracle happens. The Chicago PD lets a green guy into the ranks to try and help out. So at the request of Matt Hickman, we're going all the way back to 1992 and the golden age of Image Comics. Become a patron and make your own requests. Massive spoilers are massive for the Savage Dragon comics. You've been warned. On with the show. The Dragon number 4. Wow, we really start off with a bang, or rather a sizzle, as Inferno, a super freak from the Vicious Circle, whose power is fire, comes in and tries to nuke Dragon while he's recovering in the hospital. Of course, he fails and gets knocked out by a green scaly man in a hospital gown. At least this gown stays cinched in the back. Frank and Officer Wilde come in, hearing the commotion before random third cop carts off Inferno. Wilde then updates Dragon about the 3 super freaks from the mall last issue. Basher's dead, while Hellraiser and Mako are in critical condition. As for Skullface, one of the people that blew up Fred way back in issue 1, had to be let go since there wasn't enough evidence to link him to the explosion. Plus, Wilde brings up that she was really worried about Dragon, with Dragon giving a grin about how he didn't know she cared. Elsewhere, Overlord, the leader of the Vicious Circle, is ranting about how foolish and stupid his men are, as well as Cyberdata failing to hold up their end of the bargain. Apparently, Super Patriot was meant to kill Dragon too, so yeah, he's pissed. Back at the hospital, Amanda Mills, the hostage that Dragon saved from the second issue, comes in to basically dry hump his leg and ask how she can repay him. But luckily, Ann Stevens, the nurse that actually named Dragon, comes in and Dragon tells Amanda he'll think of something before she leaves. Nurse Stevens tells Dragon that she was so worried that he'd die because she was there when Mighty Man died, and even held his hand as he passed, and she couldn't deal with that again. After that touching scene, Dragon gets to leave the hospital, having to basically shove his way past some reporters. However, reporter Cindy Martinez, the same one we saw in issue 2, wow, getting a lot of callback characters as though we're building to the climactic final issue of this miniseries or something, comes to apologize for her colleagues and asks for a one-on-one interview. Dragon says no just in time to catch the fist of Badrock right to the face. Who's Badrock? He's a member of Youngblood, a spandex super team in the Image Comics universe. But while he and Dragon fight, also while Dragon is letting off a lot of his thoughts on the praise-happy over-merchandised team, we cut to Detroit, as Spawn walks down the street before a group of kids draw his eyes to the TV storefront that all pawn shops or stores in general have when news needs to be broadcast. And the news? Well, Badrock and Dragon are fighting, of course, and the fight itself takes up most of this issue, with some pretty awesome spots, though thousands of dollars in property damage, and we even get a weird cutaway to an old woman who, after seeing Dragon on the television, thinks that it's her son Rodney, who had a green mohawk. But we finish the fight when Badrock brings up that the only reason he attacked Dragon was to see if he was tough enough to join Youngblood. Hey, it's great reasoning when Badrock brings up that it happens in Marvel Comics all the time. We end with Badrock asking if he can go, but Dragon is totally pissed and he's gonna arrest him for being such a tool. So this issue is definitely primarily action-based, with the start being a fight with Inferno, and then the last half of it basically being a fight between Badrock and Dragon. But even in that, we get a lot of catharsis for Dragon's dislike of the superhero types of the Image universe. What's interesting about this is that I've actually heard very similar arguments from those that have read Youngblood that Dragon voices here. So while I doubt it was a legitimate dig at his fellow Image creators, it was just something neat to see. Which obviously leads to the fact that this actually has 2 different Image comic character appearances. Badrock from Youngblood, obviously, and Spawn from, well, Spawn. Ultimately, I think they're really only there to tie this into the combined universe, but were at least nice enough to see. As for the fact that everyone else who appeared in this seemed to be from previous issues, like I said earlier, I think comes down to wanting to show these characters weren't just one-offs and maybe tease a love interest. I mean, Amanda wanted to ride the Dragon Express, most definitely. But honestly, best appearance, or at least just the weirdest, was the old woman who thinks the Dragon is actually her son. Will that be brought up next issue? Will Dragon find a way to stop the Vicious Circle? Can he afford to pay for the damages to the city? Come back tomorrow and maybe one of those questions will be answered. See you then, true believers.